Hi everyone, it's Miranda. See, here I am. This is my first video in a long time, and it's on my. I decided to do a new channel, and what I wanted to show you was one of the new airplanes that I got a while back. This is the Boeing aircraft company. This is their Boeing 777. And what's interesting about this is that everything that you see everything that you see in the cockpit when I look around like this is all the real instruments. That what's really, and you can look down here. You've got radio stacks, communication stacks. Interesting rudder trim control right here, and it's associated with that that equipment right there. Plus, usually in the past, what they've done is they've given you a functional cockpit, and that was the end of it. But with this one, what they've done is they've also given you a functional overhead panel. Now, what's interesting is that every single one of these buttons that you see here and these knobs and everything, they all work just like the real aircraft, and they're in the position of the real aircraft. One button that sort of caught my attention is it's a storm button. I don't know why they call it storm, but watch what happens when I turn it on. Is that cool or what? Isn't that absolutely cool? And this is your primary navigational instruments which run this instrument. And here's your attitude indicator. Move that over so you can see it. And let's see if I can try and grab this. I think I can zoom in for you. Yeah, see? And you can look here, and you've got your airspeed indicator, not airspeed indicator, but what you want the airspeed set at right here. You have your heading, and you have your altitude. AT actually stands for auto throttle. So what I can do is I can come over to here, and say we want to take off at 226 knots. It's now set to 226 knots. I then press this button, and I don't remember why that happened. It's a different airplane. But anyway, you press this button, and then this button, and then it activates your airspeed, and then your throttles, which are right here. They will always try to do their best to maintain 226 knots. So in this airplane, because it's so big, you have to have the flaps lowered 5 degrees, which is over here, and the slats are extended, and they're going to lower the flaps. And the flap handle is, you can't really see it, but see where it's at, these indications here? This is where it is, and it's just hiding. It's right about there. You just can't see it because these are in the way. So let's see, we're at Wilmington Airport, and let's go, there's the buildings right over here. And it's a beautiful day. And let me zoom in on just one of the instruments here, so you get a better look at it. This instrument right down here, this is your attitude instrument, and it's one instrument plus a whole bunch of instruments combined. So you have your attitude indicator here, you have your airspeed indicator here, and you have your altimeter here, and according to what I can see here is I'm flying at an altitude of 30 feet, and I'm flying at minus 400 miles an hour. How that happens, I don't know. But that's just sort of funny. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull that out a little bit so I can see what the heck it is I'm doing. And I like moving this over to get it just right. Okay, so parking brake goes off. Throttle goes on. And you have to remember, this is a big airplane. It's just a little smaller than the 747, so it takes a while to get the speed up on this thing, and then I can check the speed right down here, and we'll know when to take off. We take off at about 140 knots. There we go. I've now got both hands off the controls, and as you can see, it's flying itself. We'll put the gear up, and we want to be careful because we don't want the attitude indicator to exceed about 20 degrees nose up. And as I showed you, with neither hands on the controls, it will stay pretty much at 20 degrees nose up. We can look out the window, and we can bank the aircraft. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and set that auto throttle just a moment. They also have what's called an electronic flight bag, which is right here. And this has all of the airports in the entire world. There's one, that's the one we just took off from. And there's a whole bunch of information on there that you can zoom in and look at. So we're just basically turning a little bit, and then we're going to turn back like so. And we're going to turn to the opposite direction. There you go. You can see that. So we've gone ahead and set that. I turned the autopilot off for a second, or I didn't want it on. You can see how familiar I am with this airplane. I've only flown it a few times, so flight director is on. You can't hear any sound on this now, and it's because the sound on the simulator, for some reason, is very problematic. And then we have up here all this is your hydraulics, so up right here, and over here is your main electrical panel right here. And some of the things I think it's fun to do is what happens if you just press a button, you know what I mean? And these are your lights right here, and you've got some more lights all over here. You've got your beacon and your nav. We probably turn most of these on, and the wing ones. And now I can see it's giving me a warning right here. I can turn that off. And then if I want to know what the warning is all about, I come over here, and right in here, in red, it tells me what the warning is. And let's move in and see what it says. Oh, that's what it says. See? It says autopilot disconnect. That's just to tell us that we disconnected the autopilot. I've also got the flight director turned on. The flight director is this one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. We've got another master warning, and autopilot disconnected, saying again, which is fine. And usually when the sound's working, it just makes a really horrible buzzing sound. Um, I'm not going to attempt to land. Now this is Wilmington, so this is on the east coast of America. And one of the things that I find is really interesting is that the weather that you see out here, the weather out here, is the actual weather at Wilmington at this time of the day, and you can just barely begin to see over on your right the moon coming up. So anyway, let me pause it. I paused it, and that's my very first video. I'll go ahead and upload it in just a little while. Okay, bye-bye.